Now, I want you to pay attention to how desperate monitoring spirits get when you are quiet. And when I mean quiet, when you're not posting nothing on Instagram, when you're not making YouTube content. Remember, social media is not real life. You got social media, then you got real life. Real life is when those cameras cut off, you go about your day. That's the real life. Not the ones where you on social media or where there's a camera and then you do what you do, perform or whatever it is you do, and then you go about your day. There's social media and then there's real life. See, so when you quiet and when nobody knows what you're talking about, when nobody knows what's your next move, or nobody knows what you're gonna say, remember, the darkness, demons and all that, they don't know what you say in your mind. They can't hear when you speak in your mind, even when you say prayers, when you speak in your mind, they don't know what you're saying in your mind. They know what you're saying was coming out your mouth, but when it comes to the thoughts, they don't know what you're saying. Can they plant memories? Yeah, they can mess with your subconscious mind too, especially when you drink and smoking. They could plant memories, old memories. They could plant false memories, things in that never happened, but they could plant it in your mind. And all of a sudden you're thinking, why am I getting these thoughts? This never happened. Or all of a sudden you see somebody or not, you're getting images. They can plant things in your mind, fake lies, or something to try to throw you off, or something in the past to try to be like, oh man, to get you back to feeling so that's what they can do. But they don't know what you say in your thoughts. They don't. So when you're silent, it drives them crazy because they don't know what you're talking about. They don't know what you're posting. Especially the ones who's copying you, mirroring you. The ones who copy off of all your posts and try to do your videos and try to be like you, they stop too. When you stop, they stop. They don't make nothing until you now start to make your videos. That's what happens. So I want you to pay attention to when you decide to go silent, when you're not posting, when you isolated, when you're meditating, when you're relaxing, before you receive downloads and all that, when you just out the way. Let's say you're living with people, roommates, wherever your living situation is, and these people are monitoring spirits. Because you're not posting it, because you're quiet, a certain individual, all of a sudden, if they're monitoring spirit, remember my videos, I told you guys that if you live with people's monitoring spirits, when you do a content video, they walk close by you, wherever you're doing a video, they walk by that, they go into the bathroom, they come out, you know what I'm saying, because they listening, like, you know what I'm saying, they're trying to see what you're talking about. But when you're quiet, when they don't know, all of a sudden, because you're not posting or saying anything, the person who you're living with, they're monitoring spirit, all of a sudden you might now start getting knocks on your door from the person you're living with, constantly knocking on your door. And pay attention to always the words coming out the mouth. Are you okay? I'm just checking in on you. How are you? Are you okay? You need anything? What do you have going on? See, they start asking you questions. Why? Because you're not posting. You're not saying nothing. So they're going to constantly, are you okay? Even on your phone, you might get certain messages, text messages. Hey, just checking in. You okay? You alright? And especially when you go outside, woo, does that get flooded with the people that you see? I remember, stop looking at people as people. It's all spiritual. Once you stop looking at people, it's over. You don't look at people as people no more. So when you start seeing people out here, you start seeing how many monitoring spirits start using them. Because yeah, when you go outside, you go outside. People's gonna look at you. They're gonna see the route you go, wherever you go. But the thing is, it gets more of them because they're looking at you, but they don't know what you're posting, what you're saying, what you're thinking. Like they don't know. So they're gonna send all these people to watch you because you're quiet. So they're sending all these people. You're gonna see more of them. More monitoring spirits come around through people that they're using to be around you. More motorcycles passing by you. More people trying to talk to you or be around you. Even if you go to public spots, right? You might walk past restaurants, diners, and look at the glass window. You might see certain people just be by the glass looking at you eating, or a worker there, or somebody's all of a sudden cleaning windows there, just looking at you, hacking, like body hacking people. Go to a public place where you could chill at, especially if it's a co-op and all that. And you know, with those co-ops, they got those big windows. Go to a spot where you just decide to relax and you haven't posted nothing. I promise and guarantee you, it's gonna get flooded with people. They're gonna be looking at you, doing what they're doing. And if you look at each window, you're gonna see how many people start being around the windows, just looking at you, being around, doing whatever they're doing in the crib. But they buy windows. All of a sudden, a whole group, because you're not posting, because you're not saying nothing, you're quiet. And that's what drives them crazy when they don't know what's your next post or what you're talking about. That's what drives people crazy when they don't know what you got going on. Because in this world, everybody's always nosy. They want to know what you got going on. They want to know what you're doing. How you doing? And they try to get it through people too. See, because people love to gossip. They talk about people. Oh yeah, such and such is doing this. Oh, I spoke to this person. Oh yeah, they got this going on. All right, see, the people's like that. But when you quiet and you ain't telling people from who you know and don't know, and when they don't know nothing, that's what drives them crazy. But pay attention to that, man. You're gonna get a lot of knocks on your door. A lot of people asking, how you doing? Are you okay? Are you alright? Whoever you live with, all of a sudden. But if you start posting and making content, I promise you that the person you're living with, if they're a monitoring spirit, they ain't gonna be knocking on your door. They're not gonna bother you. They're not gonna check on you like that because you're posting, and you're listening. You're posting, you're talking, you're speaking. Stay silent. Don't post nothing. Watch all of a sudden they start knocking and your phone start blowing up. Spiritual, of course, because monitoring spirits is real. Familiar spirit. It's spiritual. Especially the person who's copying you, waiting for you to drop posts. They get exposed too because it's like, okay, this one's quiet. Why are you quiet? This one stopped posting. Why are you not posting? You don't have your own thoughts. You can't say that. See, so you got people who wait for you to drop something so they could drop something. See, so you seeing what you're seeing out here. But pay attention to when you go silent. When you don't, you be like, social media, you know what I'm saying? Look, listen, you're not in a competition with nobody. I know I'm not in a competition with nobody. I'm in my own lane. I'm going gradually and just going as I'm going. And if I get a download in a video, I drop it and then just keep it going. But I'm not gonna like certain people's in competition with other people. It's like you in competition with who? For what? But there's people like that. They in competition. You probably got people who's in competition with you, and you don't even know that you're in competition with people because you're not in competition. But there's people who's in competition with you, and you don't know this. You going about your day. You post when you want to post. You drop a content when you want to drop a content. You see? So think about that. I just want you to just pay attention to how the monitoring spirits and the things that you will begin to see when you decide to be quiet for a while and when you're not posting or dropping anything. Watch how people react around you. And remember, from years back when I told you monitoring spirits love to ask those questions. How are you? Are you okay? What do you have going on? They love to ask these random questions from people you know and don't know. Questions. So they can get some kind of info to send it back to somebody or send it back. You know what I'm saying? So just be observant. But that's how people get. That's how people get when they don't know what you're talking about or what they don't know your next move is. And you'll see it. So if you're living with somebody, you decide to be quiet. Get ready for those knocks on your door. Get ready for that person constantly trying to ask you questions or now all of a sudden need favors for you just to get involved. But when you're dropping stuff, quiet. When you're quiet, bothering you, you won't see what you're gonna see. Phones, I'm telling you, they panic when they don't know. Mm-hmm. And then when you do drop videos, certain videos, then you gotta see how everything just quiets down again. Although they might be mad, the dark or the light never gets mad, but the dark, depending on the content you drop, if it's more exposure, but because you're starting to drop more things and talking and they know it, they might just leave you alone. Because it's like, okay, now they know what you're talking about, thinking, but it's when you quiet is when you're going to see what you're going to see, especially when they all start coming out. You're going to see more of them driving, being around you, trying to talk to you from people you know and don't know. All of a sudden, everybody wants to start talking to you, even strangers too. And not all necessarily for negative reasons or bad reasons. It's good and it's bad, light and dark. But just observe and pay attention to what you're going to see and what you're going to experience, because you're going to experience this.